So, on behalf of the RYS committee, we want to thank you for your commitment to our covenant youth. Our youth need to be pointed to Jesus and his word now more than ever. We want to welcome our sponsors and youth leaders that have never been to convention before. This is designed for you guys. But it's also just to give you a sneak peek of what to expect during the week. And a welcome back to those who have been to convention in the past. This will be beneficial to you as well, because we have some new things going on this year that we wanted to talk to you guys about. If you have any questions at any point, like we said, type them in the chat feature. We have several committee members here and we can answer them live or at the end. Now, you're going to hear us mention the committee, several times during this call, and you may be wondering what that is. The committee is made up of 7 volunteer couples and the director. You'll be able to identify us all week on campus by our bright yellow shirts this year. So you'll be able to find us really well. We'll be buzzing around on golf carts and scooters. But just as a note, the golf carts and scooters are for committee members only, so leave your modes of transportation at home. You can stop us anytime, though, if you have any questions. We're here to help you, and we're here to direct you. And if you want to know more about what the committee does, if you're interested in being on the committee, let one of us know or find Paul. So as you can see on this screen here, these are the topics that we hope to cover tonight. So it's highly recommended that you have a parent meeting before convention. You can include your youth as well. When my husband and I were youth group leaders, we called a meeting on a Sunday night after church, just like a couple of weeks before convention. We did this to be able to go over details of travel. We had them sign a medical waiver that we made up, typed up for information in case we would need to take their child to the hospital or get medical care. That's just what we did. You don't have to do that. We also discussed very important details, such as these 2 you see here. So let's go over these. The dress code and rules. They were signed at the time of registration by all the students and sponsors and are also included in the welcome letter that everyone received in an email. We ask that you as sponsors police the dress code, please, with your students each day. You are our first line of defense, and we welcome your help. You should see your students at breakfast or at some point at the beginning of the day. And if your students are out of dress code, they need to be sent back to their dorm to change. We would rather that you have the conversation with your students than have a committee member have this conversation, which can be uncomfortable for everyone involved. And just please remember that the dress code applies to sponsors as well. Should you need to address either of these during the week of convention, we have RYS board members that will be present that we can direct you to. We just want to emphasize we don't have these rules in place to be challenging or difficult, but we desire to promote a modest atmosphere during the week. As written in the rules, all cell phones and electronic devices are to be collected at the time of arrival. This should be covered during your parent or youth meeting. Students should come prepared in advance. They should bring a watch, not a smartwatch, and they should bring an alarm clock. Parents should be given the sponsor's phone numbers should an emergency arise at home, because they won't be able to contact their child. If we see any devices out during the week, we will collect them. Just remind your students that this is a really great opportunity to unplug and to enjoy the fellowship of believers and make new friends. These friendships will last for years to come, and I think you'll be surprised how many students don't even miss them. Some of our students didn't even want us to give them back to them on Friday morning. A lot of groups will bring a Ziploc bag with the student's name on them, so you can put their devices and their chargers right in the bag. And what we would do is we would write their name on the bag beforehand, just to save time. So then you knew who didn't give you their phone. It does get busy at check-ins, so that was just a way that we did it that made it work a lot easier. And then I would, if I were you, start charging them right away. Like on Monday, we would have all the outlets in our room all plugged in, and then we would just power them off and put them in the bag and stick them in a separate drawer. Those are all charged and ready to go for Friday, because you'll be able to give them back to the students on Friday morning so that they can take pictures and exchange phone numbers. But please remind them they cannot have them out during that main session Friday morning after breakfast. So here's a few details here about arriving on campus. Please don't arrive before 1, because we're going to be scurrying around getting campus ready for you. We would love it if you were there before 5, if you're not, or by 5. If you're not going to be there by 5, could you please email us at that email right there? And just a note, the dinner will be served from 5 to 7. And the first session begins at 7:30. We'll already have an action-packed evening. The second bullet point, this might not make a ton of sense to you right now, but we'll just go over it. When you arrive on campus, enter via the Fieldhouse Road, the east parking lot entrance from 7th Street. We did include a link to this in the welcome letter email, and it will also be marked clearly. If you have your phone out right now and you want to snap a picture of that in case you'll forget, go ahead and do that. That might help. We did already cover this on the last slide, but I have another side note for you. Sponsors, we appreciate you being willing to spend the week with us at convention, and we couldn't do it without you. However, if you feel the need to be on your phone, please do it discreetly and out of sight of the students. Please don't be on your phone during main sessions or workshops or the talent show. The youth notice that when we're on our phones and we're distant from them. So let's just be available to them all week. Of course, sometimes taking your phone out to take pictures of them, that's not a big deal, but just be really careful not to be scrolling or to be obviously on your phone and not paying attention to them. Dress code, that starts at 1 o'clock, and they have to be dress code appropriate when they get off the bus and walk around campus. We ask that you have one sponsor enter the registration area. It gets really busy. So when you pull into that parking lot that we talked about, you'll be directed where you have to go. Just have one sponsor come in. We'll hand them their packet, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, what's going to be in that packet. But we're really excited this year. We have the Greenhouse Coffee Truck. They're going to be there during registration. We're going to have some caffeine options available for purchase, so that'll be really fun. And cash or card is accepted if you want to tell your students that too after a long drive. And then the bottom one, once you're on campus, everyone should stay. Students especially are not allowed to leave. But if you need something that you believe would warrant leaving campus, please just reach out to one of the committee members. And we'll help you take care of that. Check-in. So let's talk about what you're going to get at check-in and at registration. You'll get an RYS booklet. It's just this nice little booklet you can carry around like actually in your back pocket. That's going to take care of everything you need to know for the week. It's going to have our schedule on it. It's going to have where you need to be, the names of places. I tell the kids that this is next to your Bible, a very important piece of paper or booklet that you need to have with you. They're going to get badges that they'll hang around their necks, and they'll have lanyards on them. They need to wear the lanyards all week long so that we know they're part of our group. The white ones in the bag will be for the sponsors. So when you're walking around campus, you'll know the other sponsors. And then gold and black will be divided among the other students. Those colors will have designated times for meals in the booklet. So for instance, I'm looking at my schedule right now for Tuesday. Lunch for black is 11:30 to 12:15, and lunch for gold is 12:15 to 1. So ask your kids to stay according to the schedule with their colors, because otherwise we have too many students at one time. So that helps split them up a little bit. Oh, and the white sponsors, they can get in, the white lanyards you can get in anytime. So my husband and I would just go right at the beginning for breakfast so we could catch most of our kids. But of course, you can do what you want. Badges must be worn. We talked about that, except for sporting events. They can take those off for basketball and whatnot. And then on your badge, it says your name, your church, your dorm assignment, and your workshop assignments. Those are on the back. We'll look at those in a few minutes on a different slide. You will have keys for your dorms. So if you could tell your kids that lost keys are going to be a lot of money to replace, $100. So tell them not to lose them. They're going to have convention t-shirts in their bags if they purchase them ahead of time. And volunteer assignments are in there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That's for you, sponsors. And then there's some surveys going to be in there that you will be handing out at Sunset Group on Thursday. And we'll talk more about what Sunset Group is if you don't know. And there's also going to be a tsunami water park ticket, one per person. That's what your badge is going to look like. And obviously, Craig Van Dellen, that's his church. That's where he's staying. And then on the back, you'll see over there on the right, it says what workshops you have. And that's all on the schedule. It will say like workshop 1, and then you know exactly what time you need to go because that's in the booklet that we talked about. But this tells you where you have to go. And it tells you like what room you have to go to. And don't worry, these places are going to seem foreign to you. You'll be able to find them because we're going to have signs everywhere that will help you. While we're talking about workshops, attendance at workshops is mandatory for students and sponsors, and attendance is taken. So if there's a student missing, we will go on a search for them. So we want to make sure they're all safe. If we can't find them, then we'll find you, their sponsor at that time. And we'll do the same if there's any issues with any students during the week, whether they're not feeling well or if they get injured or if they're out of their rooms at night, then we'll get a hold of you and wake you up. This is a quick look at what our schedule is going to look like on Monday for those of you who haven't been there before. After checking in and moving into your dorms, there's time to get acclimated with campus and we get to have free time. You kind of can walk around and see what's going on, play indoor games, outdoor games. And then as you can see on there, everyone will have dinner at the same time on Monday. So it'll be a lot of people in there, but we'll be able to do it. But then you'll realize how important it is to kind of split them up the next few days to get a lot of people. So then we will go to our main session. It's the session number 1. And all sponsors and speakers will stay afterwards for some important announcements. Each night there's a designated time for snacks. It's right before sunset groups, and it's just a fun way to end the night. We'll talk about sunset and sunrise in a little bit too. There have been questions in the past, so I thought I'd go over it about what nightly room checks are. Students will be told Monday night at that first session in the announcements what they need to do. They need to leave a single shoe in the door to have the door propped open. Then the same gender volunteers or committee members will check to see that each student is in their dorm room at that time. They don't need to be in bed, but they need to be in their room. They can't be in the shower. They can't be in a friend's room. They need to be in their room. Sponsors will not be disturbed for nightly room checks. So each dorm will have a colored sheet on the door that says who's in what room, and the sponsors have their own special color. So we will know not to knock on your door and wake you up. We do have a master list of where everyone is located to on campus. So if someone's missing, we'll be able to locate who it is and then have a search party out. All right, there's a sample schedule that I was talking about, that paper that I showed you a little bit ago. This is the convention booklet you'll receive. Like I said, when I was a sponsor, I told my kids, keep this on you because there's so many things happening. A lot of times we'd go over it with them at sunset groups too, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But you may be interested to hear Defender Coffee Company. See that there? Where is it? Maybe it's not on this one, but Defender Coffee Company will be open in the campus center. So like the main area, Tuesday in the afternoon, Wednesday most of the day, and Thursday in the afternoon. And they accept cash or card. So that's good to know. You'll need lots of coffee that week. All right, next we're gonna look at a sample map. The buildings that we're using are color-coded and labeled, as you can see there. The girls will be in, I'll say them, they might not make sense, but the pink ones there. Kuiper, East Campus Apartments in Southview. The guys will be in the Covenant and West Hall, and those are colored like that light turquoise, like aqua color. Sponsors are spread throughout. This map will also be in your convention book, so you can refer to that through the week. If you selected your spouse as a roommate, you'll be rooming with your spouse. Married couples are split between girls and boys dorms. We have sponsor coverage on each dorm floor. So if an emergency would arise in the middle of the night, the students know to come look for your certain colored paper on your door if they need help with anything. And then at our first meeting that night on Monday night, we're going to share a phone number with you guys that you can use for emergencies only. It will be carried by someone on the committee or the security team. So you'll always have somebody that you can reach out to. If, for instance, one time I had a student knock on my door in the middle of the night because she didn't feel well, and then she ended up being sick, and then her roommate was scared because she didn't want to get sick. It was a big old thing. So I took care of it, but I did have to contact her sponsor to take care of her because she was sick. So then I could go back to bed. So we're going to talk again about sunrise and sunset groups. So those of you who don't have any idea what this is, I'll go through it in a minute. Those of you who do already know, I'm sorry, that might be boring for you. Sunrise groups. So we're going to meet each morning at a time designated in the booklets. The assignments are going to be taped to each dorm door with the first meeting place. You may move your group to a different location for the remainder of the week. So the reason we do that is because the girls also will have, I'm saying girls because that's the dorms I was in, they'll have something taped to their door that will say exactly what room to meet at, and that will come up in another slide. So you meet in that spot, but you guys can go find a nice cozy spot outside, whatever, for the latter days, the days following. The groups are of the same gender. So your male sponsors will have male students, and the female sponsors will have female students. What we'll do in sunrise groups usually is open and close with prayer, and we'll have some devotions included in the booklet, and I'll show those to you in a little bit. Those were emailed to you today, actually, they were on the bottom of the email that you got with the link for this. And sunrise groups are mandatory for all sponsors and students. Sunset groups, those meet in the evening. Those are with the group that you came with, your church group. You guys can pick a location. A lot of times what we did, because they lose their phones, is I would say to them, at first session, when we meet at first session, I will tell you where our sunset group is because I didn't have it figured out until then. You'll open and close with prayer there too and discuss just how their days went, and then try to have the students back to their dorms by night check time. So think about like what time they need to get there to get their showers and get in bed. As your group finishes, if they finish early, please be respectful of other groups that are meeting. And at the beginning of sunset groups, all the art games will be put away for the night, which the kids do not really appreciate, but we do it so they go to sunset. So just some added comments. It's very important that you make sure your sunrise kids are accounted for. They're required to be there, and they may not choose to sleep in. You are the first line of defense with this as well. So if they're sick or missing, we need to know so we can help them. So just please make every effort to locate them if they don't show up. And as you'll see coming up here on the papers, it'll say the names of the students and what room they're in. So knock on their door, ask their friend, find out where they are. If you don't know what to do about it, contact one of the committee members and we can take care of it. Sunset groups, I have another added thing. Please just try and stick to the times given. Try not to start way earlier than the time given in the book so that you can go to bed early because there's activities and there's snacks going on right up until sunset time. Sunset groups is just a great time to not rush through, and it's a great time to go over the events of the next day with your student and answer any questions they may have and just go over like the schedule for the next day. Checking with them throughout the day is so important too, but this is just a really special time to reconvene with them and just be available for them. That was one of our favorite times with sunset groups. We just shared what impacted us most that day, and there were usually quite a few tears shed, and we had a lot of candy. Only the cool leaders bring candy. That is what will be on your door when you get there. Right up there on top, it says, please initially meet at room. Obviously, you may not know where they are, but you have your map and your booklet, so you'll be able to find it. Those top two people there, Rebecca East and Meredith West, they both are in Fisher 354, so they are roommates and they are sponsors. So the first two on the top are always the sponsors. And then it will say what church and city and state there, so that you can look below Fisher 355, Sarah Blue and Ashley Green. They're in the same room, and it will tell you what churches they go to. Then Fisher 365, Abby Star and Tina Moon, they go to in the same room. Fisher 357, Rachel Summers and Amy Winters are in the same room. And then Sarah Flowers and Beth Leaves are in the same room. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 girls in your group if you're a sponsor. So if you can't find Sarah Blue, if she doesn't show up, Ashley Green does. So she'll know where Sarah Blue is. She can help you find her. So that's why we try and keep roommates together. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, shoot something in the comments. I'm blowing past that one. We can go to the next one. This is a sunrise devotion sample that came in the email you got today. I found that it was really important to read through these before convention and do some studying before I arrived at convention. That way you kind of have a plan in place for how sunrise groups will go before you arrive. I did want to let the new sponsors know, like if you're just thinking, what in the world, I don't even know what this is all about. I don't know what I'm going to do. What we did was we paired you, if you were there 0 years, if you had 0 when you did your registration, we tried to pair you with someone who had been there 1 to 2 or 3+ years. So the person that you are with will know what's going on. And so you can kind of follow their lead. But then you guys can just kind of interject together how you want it to run. Sometimes the first day, one person takes charge and the next one just kind of follows, but then you can stay behind and just talk it through. Like, how do we want tomorrow to go? And then I would go even to my room the night before and try and just integrate some of the things that I had learned in like one of the main sessions, or I would write a note down about something that I wanted to talk to the girls about. We're going to skip over to day away. So the day away is going to be a little bit different this year. If you guys haven't noticed, we're really excited about it. It's going to consist of, first of all, breakfast, then your sunrise groups like normal, and then a main session. But then we're not going to be hurrying off to our day away. We get some more stuff we get to do on campus. We're going to have choir practice and lunch, and then we're going to have free time and tournaments. We'll meet in the auditorium at 3, and then we'll board the buses for an afternoon and evening away. We will eat supper while we're there. The kids will get tickets for the food, and we're going to arrive back around 9:30. The sponsors will hand out the RYS convention t-shirts Tuesday evening at Sunset Groups. So we'll make an announcement Tuesday during the main session where you got to pick up your t-shirts. You can hand them out to your students at Sunset Groups on Tuesday, and they have to wear them on Wednesday. It's going to be very organized. We'll all be in the main auditorium, and then they'll have them up on the screen, and they'll say what church has to go on what bus. So everybody will just get escorted right out, and it just goes really smooth. Remind your students the dress code does apply on the bus as well, and for the day away. And we did include this in some of the paperwork, but just if you guys have your meeting with them, remind them to take old closed toe shoes and a change of old clothes if they want to actively participate in the rodeo activities. So we're going to have a lot of fun and probably going to get dirty.
All right, couple questions about day away. So day away, we are going to be boarding buses. It's only about a 30-minute bus ride, so way shorter than we're all used to for past conventions. And it is just located at a nearby fairgrounds, which is where we're going to do our version of Iowa State Fair, which is going to be the RYS State Fair. And we're also going to have a rodeo. So we have a company that will be coming and putting on a rodeo, but also allowing us to participate in some of the rodeo events. So if you have kids that would like to, I think it's like some hog tie or a greased pig, or isn't there like a wild
Calf
something or other?
scramble, mechanical bull. There's a couple of fun things. Hay
Yep.
bale toss.
Mainly the old clothing are for being in the dirt, and all the grease for the greased pigs. At that same time that is going on, we also have like the real rodeo going on with the bucking broncos and the calf roping and all the rodeo things. And while that's also going on, there's all state fair games and food and things going on like that. Day away is located about 30 minutes away, and we will be boarding buses.
Calling all talent. As you can see, we're super excited for our talent show, aka we call it the variety show now, but we tend to go back to talent show. This takes place on Thursday night. It's our last night, and the students always have so much fun and they come so excited. Rehearsal times are listed in your convention booklet. So please encourage your students to participate in the talent show because the kids love the skits that the big groups participate in. Encourage them to show up to rehearsal with their dress code appropriate clothing that they plan to wear to the talent show too. Seems kind of weird, but if they come to rehearsal, have them wear the clothes that they're going to actually wear on Thursday night so we can approve the clothes. And again, it's not mandatory. You guys maybe read this somewhere, but if they want to send a video or recording to the talent show email ahead of time, we can give input and advice to find out what's appropriate, help them even with like the clothing they're wearing, and they can change it beforehand. This worked really well last year, and we're really excited to offer this. So if you could maybe mention that to your students at your meeting, if you have one, the email address right there you see is talentshowrys@gmail.com. If you can't remember that, then you guys all probably know the RYS convention email address too. So down to choir. For choir, we always have a choir performance the night of the talent show. As you'll see in your booklet, there's going to be a couple practices through the week. It's just such a fun part of the talent show as well. We ask that you and your students, if you attend rehearsal, then you can be in the choir. But if they don't attend rehearsal, we don't want them to be in the choir because they won't have practiced. Last year we started giving out little stickers and we put them on their name badges to tell if they came to rehearsal. So I think we're going to try and do that again this year.
Question about choir.
Yeah.
Are there pre-signups for choir or is it on site? I think it's just on site.
Just show up for practice.
Just show up for practice. So no pre-signups.
Yeah. And they're not going to keep track if you came to one practice or two practices. Just come to a practice for sure.
But we will be keeping track of all the little precious children who attempt to not go to any practice and try to get on stage. We will be keeping the choir from growing night of the variety show. So
correct. Yes. Thank you, Kelly. I can see sometimes the comments coming through, but I can't catch them all. So please stop me. There were questions about auditions. Okay. I don't know what the questions are.
So there was just the one, and it was, are there auditions? And there are auditions, especially if you haven't sent in a pre-approved or gone and done the video and had it emailed and had it pre-approved, then you have to be at the audition. And I don't remember the audition night. Is that Tuesday?
I'm looking.
Tuesday audition? I think so.
Yep. Tuesday, 8:45 to 10. So I did go through that pretty quick. So I'll just reiterate just a little bit about talent show, variety show auditions. They can either send it to talentshowrys@gmail.com ahead of time, like record what they're going to do with the clothes on that they're going to wear. And then we talk to them via email if it's approved or if it's not, or like if they could change things, or can you send us the words because we can't hear it that good or whatever. So we figure that out. That's the first one way you can do it. The other way you can do it if you don't want to email is come to Tuesday night rehearsal, or audition, which is, I said 8:45 to 10. So those are two ways. And then what we do is after that, we post them the next day on Wednesday. So then they know who got into the show, the talent show, variety show.
And I would say if there's any like media or music that they will be using, please email us even before convention starts. It allows for the talent show auditions to go a lot quicker and smoother. That way we're not trying to figure out how to get the music off USB onto Dort's system. So obviously the more proactive you guys are, the easier it is for us to run that audition.
Last day, we'll just talk that through quick. The last day is just a little bit shorter than the other days, but still pretty packed. We'll have breakfast, and then you got to return those surveys that they get at the Sunset Group the night before. And then we'll talk it through, pack up, put the keys in the boxes. We'll still do sunrise, and we'll have our final main session, and then the 2026 recap and a farewell video, and then lunch and depart for home. Everyone's on the road by 1, not before. I did see something in the comments quick while I was talking, but yes, the dorms are air conditioned. So that's a very, very good thing. There were some dorms that weren't, but we made sure not to put students in those, or sponsors or speakers. So they can be chilly. So we get light blankets provided in our little packet, but they're little light blankets. Anyone wants to have another blanket, you might want to take one. And please tell your students pillows are not provided this year. There's years they are and there's years they aren't. This year they are not. So please bring your own pillow and pillowcase. We wanted to let you know that DOOR is an open campus, which means the community is allowed on the campus. Students will not want to leave any personal belongings laying around, and they always need to wear their lanyards. And security is going to be on site 24/7. The Tsunami Water Park will be available. That's going to be, it's kind of across the street. It's not a busy street, but it'll be available to use during free time on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, and that's in the booklet. Tickets will be given in your registration packet on Monday, and then you get one entry per person for the week. And the swimsuit dress code does apply, which I'm pretty sure you guys all know the swimsuit dress code. If not, shoot it in the comments there. And then new this year, we're super excited. We are excited to have our own security team with us. They will be easily identified with their yellow shirts if you need any assistance or medical help. So we're really excited about that. All right, you can go to the next slide. The volunteer signups. You should have already received an email asking you as a sponsor to sign up for 2 areas of interest. We have over 300 volunteer roles to fill, so we really need your help. You guys have filled some out already. But if you didn't sign up with your preference, then sometimes a role may be assigned to you. You'll be notified of what roles you have when you come in your registration packet. So sometimes we will pre-select our season sponsors to help us with certain volunteer positions. So in case you see you're signed up for something that you didn't sign up for, it's because we know you're capable and we just decided to put you there. So sign up for 2 volunteer spots again, and we do have spots that you will be voluntold where you're going to work if you don't sign up for 2 spots. So please help us out. Currently, we have 1 photographer slot open. We have 13 slots in tournaments, and we need 2 more men for night checks. Let's go down to the next spot there, child safety training. You probably all know what that is, but I'll just read through this. We need you to complete the child safety training that was already emailed to you. Please complete it as soon as you can. It's a training video with a short quiz at the end. And it takes approximately 30 minutes to complete. All speakers, sponsors, musicians, committee members, everyone must complete it before check-in, all the adults. If you didn't get it or you opened your link and it expired, then please email secretary for the number 4, rys@gmail.com. There's still about 30 sponsors that need to fill them out. So if you could do that ASAP, that would be wonderful. Stacy would really appreciate that. All right. What are we up to? Does anyone have any questions for us that were not answered in the live chat? Anything that we need to discuss yet tonight?
We do have a question about the photography PRBC. PRBC, did you receive the Sign Up Genius link? Because there was definitely some spots for a photographer there, but we love photographers. Perfect. We love as many photographers as we can, and I know Paul would be very happy to get his hands on some pictures.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind being able to maybe get in contact with you after this Zoom meeting, maybe tomorrow or sometime in the near future, just so we can kind of see what your background is and if you're going to be bringing your DSLR camera and whatnot. So we can talk later.
Perfect.
Okay. Good. So good. Sounds like we've got most of our questions answered. We don't see anything in the comments that we need to go over. Great. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to attend this meeting. We're really looking forward to seeing you all in a few short weeks. And we really thank God for you and your heart for the youth. We know that this is a huge commitment on your part to take a week away from home and away from your family and to spend time with our youth. And we're just so, so thankful for you. We're all looking forward to meeting you and working alongside of you July 13th through 17th. But if you have any other questions that weren't answered tonight or that we didn't discuss, you can email us. You guys have seen this. It's rysconvention@gmail.com. And we can get those answered. And then we also will get this recording sent out via email at some point, right, Paul?
Yeah, give me a little bit of time to edit this and get it uploaded onto YouTube, but we hope to have it out soon.
All
Good.
right.
Looks like we're finished then. Thank you guys again so much. I appreciate you coming. I look forward to meeting you.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Okay, bye.